Just like with. So I want to welcome Nick. I want to welcome Nick on the call today. The reason I got Nick on the call is because Nick's been in our program for 7, 8 months now, Nick, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I remember our call very well when we first had a chat, right? Nick's over in the UK. And before we had a chat, obviously you reached out, didn't you? And you're quite hesitant, right? Because obviously things are online, and you never really enjoyed the gym, did you? You went to the gym when you were a bit younger and stuff. Uh,
yeah. It's always been cardiovascular I've done.
yeah, always cardio and vascular, like most people doing their sort of late 40s, 50s, right? Always the cardio, the running. And look, I'm just hoping you can maybe motivate someone who might be watching this or some things that worked for you. So before you joined, Nick, what were you sort of struggling with? What was the sort of icing on the cake that made you, I guess, pull the trigger and maybe focus on your health properly and get a little bit of help?
Yeah, I think mainly, Rob, it's I was always hovering around that sort of 12, 8, 12, 9 stone wise, and I knew that I had a good stone to lose at least,
Yeah,
if not a stone and a half, and that's why I always struggled. I could get to a certain weight, but for whatever reason, I could run 3 or 4 times a week. I could
yeah,
go out on the bike, but I just found that I couldn't get rid of that last sort of bit of weight, and it was more to do with the weight and how I wanted to be leaner. So that was the main reason. So it wasn't all about the weight loss. It was about having a better body type, if you like. So
yeah,
that's the reason. I was a little bit skeptical because you do see all these things online, but you told a good story online, and it was more what sort of made me inquire was that you had more, it seemed more scientific than what I've been doing. I don't think I had the education, and reading some of the stuff you put online, I thought, right, okay, this is more of an education as well as doing it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, because that's the thing about people need more information, but they also need implementation as well, don't they? But I mean, how was you feeling though before you joined? Because I remember it um quite well. Like, because what was you low testosterone, feeling a little bit lethargic, and that joints aching and things like that.
I think it's ridiculous, isn't it? But I used to do a few triathlons. So I've done triathlons. It's like I've always been pretty fit,
Yeah,
despite wanting to lose that sort of stone and a half. But what I did find is that after training all the time, I did feel tired. Like even walking up the stairs, just felt tired. I needed to rest more. So yeah, it was just the whole energy levels, which sounds ridiculous because I thought, right, okay, if I do some more running and some more cycling and keep trying to keep fit, then why am I feeling like this? This doesn't seem right. So yeah, it was more to do with the feeling tired, despite keeping fit. In my eyes, keeping fit anyway.
yeah. 'Cause if you've done triathlons in the past, fit's quite a high bar for you, isn't it? I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah,
But like you said, like the longevity side of things, yeah.
yeah. I'm getting older, so I'm in the 50s now. So you do start thinking about, without being morbid, mortality and living longer and healthier lifestyle, being around for the grandchildren when they turn up. So I thought, yeah, time for a change. Because if you're doing something, it's not working for you. That's the thing, isn't it? You can keep doing that. It's not working for you, so you have to make a change. So that's what I decided. And the thing about educating yourself is educating yourself costs money, no matter what type of thing you're trying to do. It can be anything. But unless you do look into these things, then you're not going to make a difference, not going to make a change.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, buddy. See those grandkids when you get older. That's a good way to put it, actually. Um, so how does life feel for you now? 8 months on, obviously you've dropped close to 10 kilos. And by your photos, I'll get them to sort of pop up here in the corner. Um, yeah, how's life different for you now, Nick?
Yeah, I think the difference is, as I said, it's learning. So what I've managed to do the last 8 months is learn more about how to go about keeping fit, keeping healthy. It's the way of life, if you like, the willpower, lots of things, the diet. Um, but I think what really surprised me was the food that I eat now. I enjoy, I love it anyway, and it's not hugely different to some of the
Yeah,
things I enjoyed before. So that was a surprise that I could eat some of the meals that I eat now, and it still will be very enjoyable. And then, as far as the energy levels are concerned, then with the mixture of the training that I've been doing and the way that I've been eating, then that combination has definitely improved the energy levels. The fact that, I can go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, do the weights, do the weight training. And yeah, I'm literally running up the stairs to go in the gym and running downstairs to come out of the gym. I've got that energy. Whereas before, I can picture it in my own head now. I might have been on the bike or doing a run on the treadmill or whatever, and I'm laboring down the stairs and I'm sort of walking to the car thinking, I shouldn't be feeling like this. So yeah,
Oh,
it's a marked difference. And then as far as my body's concerned, then I've lost that weight. I've got definition that I didn't have before. I feel leaner, I look leaner. So yeah, as far as clothes are concerned, like I know that's sort of a bit of a vanity thing, but clothes fit a lot better.
cool, yeah.
And from going sort of even some of the smalls that I go and feel into now feel a bit baggy on me, which I never would have had before. So it's been a lifestyle change, and it's all worked. And I suppose the biggest surprise for me is how quickly that happened. So within 3 months, I could already notice the changes and the differences, and it fitted into my lifestyle because to do 3 or 4 sessions a week isn't a huge commitment. If you're doing 40, 45 minutes each time is what I sort of stick to, then that isn't a huge commitment, but the benefits and the rewards are huge.
Yeah, yeah, amazing. Because it's just realistic. Let's be honest, it's quite realistic, isn't it? Sustainable, and that's how we sort of set it up. So you can keep doing it, and like you are now, 8 months on, you're about to go off on your own, do your own thing, and that's what counts, right? We've trained you up to get to the point where you're confident enough to keep it up as a lifestyle now, which always is the end goal, right? So well
Well,
done, buddy.
you couldn't get rid of me. I mean, I was only going to do it for 3 months, but I loved it so much that I carried on for another five.
Yeah, you did, mate. You did, and yeah, amazing, mate. But look, I appreciate you sharing your story online. Really appreciate it, Nick, and all the best for the future, buddy.
Thanks, Rob. Really appreciate all your help and the trainers. It's been fantastic.
Awesome, awesome, Nick. Take care.
Thanks, Rob.